Greetings, oddly unassuming, but still somehow terrifying ghosts. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile as well.
And welcome to another thrilling installment of Tiki's Universe. It's the all-encompassing show on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube channel where we cover a whole variety of current animated cartoons with reactions, vlogs, recaps, and more, including Steven Universe, Star vs. Force of Evil, and Milo Murphy's Law, and DuckTales coming in 2017. So, Jacob, we've been having a lot of success with Milo. Really happy that that's gone off the ground so well. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back for that. Really excited to cover that moving forward. I think we've got a good traction going, but let's get into the star episodes this week, because I will say both these episodes are kind of unconventional. I think this one is definitely more conventional than Spider with a Top Hat. Spider with a Top Hat, I think, is one of the more bizarre episodes of the whole series, but just jumping into this. What?
Then I'd go with that.
Yeah. So jumping into Hungry Larry. Yeah, this is Disney's been doing a fantastic job with their Halloween specials recently. I haven't seen the Phineas and Ferb ones they've done, but I assume they're great. Yeah. Gravity Falls has the Halloween Trickster, and this is just another one in the long line of like
it's Summerween Trickster. You said Halloween Trickster. It's Summerween Trickster.
Oh, you're right. It's a Submarine Trickster. I'm sorry.
No, it's no big deal. I'm just saying, like, it's easy to confuse the two. I mean, I think that basically could be Halloween.
It could be, but just this really does feel like an episode of Gravity Falls in the sense that there's a very, very macabre imagery behind it. You know what I mean? Like the bleeding candy.
I even said myself, this could be Gravity Falls run for its money.
I do think it does, man. I do think it does, and it just goes to show this show is not just like, oh, hey, it stars a Disney princess, so therefore it must be all cutesy. Like, no, the point of the show is kind of subverting that Disney princess archetype. So
sure doesn't have bleeding taxidermy animals, but
oh dear God, but we're close. We're close here.
But yeah, basically, as a guy vomiting up candy, so we're close. And it's a Halloween Trickster did, but not as a gruesome detail as this.
So let's see. So the episode focuses around Mr. Diaz. We learn his first name is Raphael. I like that as a name for Mr. Diaz.
It's been known for a while that his name was Raphael on like the wikis and things like that. It's been confirmed a while, but just never openly said on the air.
Okay, well, I like that they say it on the air at least. Then I don't follow the wikis and stuff, so I'm sorry, but
I believe the mom's name is Angie.
Sounds about right.
I don't know though. Don't quote me on that.
But this is just a great premise. It's a classic Halloween trope of, you know, the guy who wants to create the scariest haunted house on the block. And gosh darn it, he puts so much effort into it, but it's just not all that scary. So, you know, we get that great what?
And to quote Mrs. Diaz, he wrestled a blow-up doll in front of children.
So we get that great opening sequence where Marco's leading a bunch of younger kids around, and Mr. Diaz is just—he's going all out, man. I mean, you got to give him props. He's very theatrical about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He definitely deserves an A for effort. A B plus at best.
Are you brave to pass through here, or just stupid?
Yeah. Then it turns out Marco's just bribing the kids. That's the funny part. He's like, come on, just pretend to be scared, all right?
But you know, I love how straight shooter of the the kid. He's just like, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't do this.
And then he's up front and I was like, well, we may not find this scary anymore next year.
I mean, next year we might not even be afraid of monsters. I'm not going to waste my time with this. Sorry, Mr. Diaz.
I mean, the thing was that he wasn't malicious though. He's like trying to like.
No. That was kind of the joke about the whole thing. Yeah, he's very polite about it.
I mean, it's not even passive, not even crossing into passive aggressive or like others. They're like, yeah, this is lame. Blah, 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 blah. And they actually made this kid. No, he's actually like saying, I don't like it. He's like being honest, not being a jerk. which I
Okay,
like.
so we continue Jana just kind of hanging around, which I gotta say I kind of like. I kind of like the fact that Jana and Star have this have this friendship going on the side, kind of separate from Marco. I like that. That's a recent development in the show.
Yeah, pretty much the only reason for her to be there to have somebody else some hungry Larry, but they work her into the plot quite well.
Yeah. So yeah, they do in fact
to help someone hungry Larry.
They do in fact summon hungry Larry. In spite of Marco's pleas, don't summon anything.
Yep. So what do?
They summon him anyways. Oh yeah.
In a very bizarre ritual which involves licking mustard off of a takeout menu.
So this is a very unique ghost, Jacob. I really like this ghost for this Halloween special. So he shows up, and essentially what he is I kind of struck him as almost kind of like a stereotypical like Jewish lawyer type. He's like, hey, how are you? Star Butterfly, did you send for me? Okay, can I come in?
He looks like one of those unassuming bedsheet ghosts.
I mean, yeah, it looks like an unassuming bedsheet ghost for sure, but I'm saying it has the mannerisms and kind of the demeanor of like just a friendly lawyer type guy, just a pushover lawyer. I don't know. That's just the impression I got from it.
You see that some of that stereotype in there.
Yeah, but anyways, so we have this great build-up with Hungry Larry, where at first, and I'm sorry, first of all, I just have to say, Hungry Larry, Candy Larry, it's hard to make the distinction for me in my mind, like just mental block.
Candy Larry? Who's Candy Larry?
From Flapjack.
Oh.
Kind of live.
I've never watched Flapjack.
He's a guy who wants a candy wife. He's actually made a wife of Candy. It's quite alarming.
Yeah, I'm not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
When I know about that show, I'm not surprised.
Anyways, so we get a great build up to Hungry Larry. At first he's just very unassuming. He's just kind of like, can you just get out? Can you please just get out? Let me work.
Yes, can you guys get out? And I was like, we're not guys.
And, like I said, he just seems like very, very harmless, very, like, well, that guy's not scary. He's kind of creepy, but he's not scary.
That's great. Up to that point, the creepiest thing about him was the tense music coming up to the door.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, oh, it's just going to be like a joke and all that.
So Jana, like, very excitedly goes upstairs to fire him, but then horrified screams so loud that it basically alerts the whole neighborhood and makes the whole neighborhood want to come in.
Yeah.
And I love the one kid, he's just like, did the scream out there come from this haunted house? Or something like that. He's just very much kind of like a... I don't even know how to describe the delivery. It's just very funny.
Yeah, I can't describe it either.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I know the kid. Like, it came from this house? Like he's almost in disbelief.
Right.
Like, it makes you wonder how often the Diaz have put on a haunted house that's not scary.
Oh, I'm sure pretty much every year up until this year. It seems like it's been a tradition.
Yeah, based on like the kids' reactions, even Marco saying what Marco says.
Right. Okay, so let's see. So I do like this gag where all the kids are running into the room where Hungry Larry is. And it's not even so much a gag. It's just a really good piece of sound design where Star is telling Marco, oh, calm down, Marco. Can't you hear their horrified screams? And like, Jacob, what I love about the sound design here is like you hear the horrified screams until they like cut off right at the end.
You're like, no, I don't hear them.
But I just love that from a sound design level.
And that's when you realize, oh wait, something's actually up.
Okay, so what's going on with Hungry Larry? What's kind of the scene looking like right now?
You realize why they call him Hungry Larry.
Oh God.
Yeah, basically that's why they call him Hungry Larry.
Mm-hmm.
It's something probably straight out of Miyazaki films.
I mean, yeah, it would definitely fit. It would definitely fit. So basically, the whole room is covered in broken Halloween decorations and this really odd, like, black saliva substance that's just eerie.
And what were the swords? Hungry Larry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I must say, a very creative monster. I really like how this guy goes from unassuming to just totally, like, batshit crazy Gravity Falls villain.
Who we learn is actually eating the children.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This guy's not
like,
messing around.
Was he actually going to do anything to them, or just part of the whole scare thing? That's the question.
I mean, part of me was thinking the whole episode was going to end with Mr. Diaz being eaten and then them all being like, well, at least we're all here. Now we can celebrate. Yay, happy Halloween.
No.
I don't know. That seems like a very SpongeBob-esque ending, kind of like where SpongeBob shrunk the whole town, you know, to fit everyone in.
Yep.
Anyways. But
But then we see Mr. Diaz on the shack trying to get rid of his blow-up doll.
This is great. This is great because he's like listening to like Spanish heavy metal music, and like it looks like he's revving up a chainsaw, but he actually is revving up like a wood chipper. And, oh my god, it's great characterization for Mr. Diaz. I've got to say, just wonderful characterization.
Yeah, it doesn't even cut it. It just like pops it and sends it flying into a neighbor's yard.
It flies into the wall, into the neighbor's fence, and then it just kind of casually bounces off into the other side of the neighbor's yard.
All the while his wife brings out some candy corn to get him out.
Which was adorable, by the way. These two have an awesome relationship.
in which his name is finally spoken for the first time, Raphael.
Raphael, yeah. And you're right, the mother is Angie, according to the wiki, so you're right about that.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. From there on, it's just Mr. Diaz basically realizes that shit is going down upstairs, so he encounters Hungry Larry, and everything is just all encompassed when he goes up there for the second time. You know, it's just like the black saliva's everywhere, and then Hungry Larry himself is huge.
Yeah. And basically, we get the image in what you guys are seeing on the screen.
Where is my family? I told you. They're all in here, he says as he opens his mouth.
Yeah, this episode can do it. This shows the series can get disturbing if it wants to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, you know, Halloween episodes are a perfect time to do that, you know, a perfect time to kind of tread the waters for doing stuff like that. And I think we've been on the fringes of seeing stuff kind of in this nature, but this is the first episode of the show where it's really just like all out, like, let's go nuts with the dark imagery.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we wrap this up?
Basically what happens is like he decides to confront Raphael decides to confront Hungry Larry. They say nothing's scarier than a man who has nothing left to lose. Like after he's eaten, then he coughs him. Like, that's basically what happens, right? This is Mr. Diaz pushed to the edge. Like to prove how far he would go for his family.
Oh yeah. So he fights back a bit against Larry, and Larry basically spits out all the kids and people inside. And this is great. He just reverts back to his normal size, and then takes like a taxi out. You know, has his little briefcase, and he's just like, rude. Those people were rude. Whatever.
And you know, it's not like he tried to eat them or anything.
I know, right? It's like okay, yeah, sure. They're the rude ones, Hungry Larry. Okay.
Well, True did summon him. Well, True Star and Jenna did summon him, so they did kind of ruin it upon themselves.
I guess so. It's just kind of like, yeah. They wanted me to help with the haunted house, and I helped with the haunted house. This is the things I get rude.
Well, it's just glad like he just goes off like he doesn't get punished for what he's done because, like I said, they brought it upon themselves.
Right. And then Mr. Diaz is celebrated now because that was the scariest thing anyone in the neighborhood's ever experienced. I'm not sure how much of that was Mr. Diaz's plan, but, you know, regardless.
It wasn't Hungry Larry himself who was seeing him doing all that.
That's my whole thing. I'm like, okay, well, if they want to give Mr. Diaz the credit, then sure. He deserves it. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he did save their lives after all.
Exactly. So give him some kudos. All right, so Jacob, final thoughts on Hungry Larry?
Very, very solid episode. Favorite for Halloween one. It's definitely shows that this show even who knows, might even get some of this more disturbing imagery and concepts even after Halloween.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I definitely think it's the stronger of the two episodes we got this week. It's more in the realm of a usual episode, but it's still a bit unconventional because I think Mr. Diaz is pretty much the main character here, which is cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have a storyline going on with Star and Marco and Jana, but Mr. Diaz really gets a chance to shine, which I really love because we've had episodes devoted to River Butterfly in the past, but we've never really had an episode where it's just this guy getting the main storyline. So in that regard, I think this episode was a really big success. And I also just, you know, of course, love the spooky imagery. Love the contrast between Hungry Larry when he's in his horrific form and then when he's in his unassuming sheet ghost form. All in all, very creative, really good Halloween special. Hopefully I can talk Dragon into including this in a future Haunted Holiday hijinks. So
I wouldn't doubt it. He'd definitely eat this up.
You think so? I don't know. I wouldn't be too sure.
Maybe. I don't know.
I wouldn't be too sure. We'll see.
Yeah. I'd also like to see more episodes focusing on their parents, like on the Diaz's.
Sure.
I mean, the only other time they could arguably be considered the main characters of an episode were in the family vacation.
Yeah, family vacation, but that was definitely more him and the wife together. You know what I mean? Him and Angie together. This was more so like him taking the central role.
Yeah, but still, I'd like to see more episodes focusing on them in general.
Definitely. Okay, folks, so I guess that's about it. We're going to dive right into one of the most bizarre episodes of the series to date, Spider with the Top Hat, in just a minute. But until then, stay tuned, where things are going to get a little weird and a little wild once again.